You got him. You got him. Pickerel.
Pickerel. Come here, baby.
All righty, Bobby.
Springtime, cold front fishing, Lake Towhee, try to catch some fish, got a little pickerel. I'm Bob Murray. It's going to be a good one. All right.
Good job, Bob. Let me get us started off.
Valley Outdoors, your best source for fishing information on TV, radio, and the internet.
Lake Towhee here in the springtime. We were here in the summer.
Yep.
And we talked about, after we got off last summer off the lake, we got to come back in the springtime. You and I have talked about this a number of times. Got a chance to come back on the lake, and right now we're probably going through what everybody who's a fisherman dreads, a cold front.
The dreaded cold front.
Wind. Yesterday was beautiful.
Yep.
Tomorrow's going to be beautiful, but we got to deal with some tough conditions.
Yeah.
We got some pads coming up though, right?
Yeah. It's the lake's pretty shallow, and fortunately the sun we've had, the warm weather we've had has brought the pads up, and we found some fish here a few days ago that were kind of staging. We think moving up here to begin to think about spawning, but we find the cold front really just kind of pushes them way back off to the first drop and makes them just a little bit tough to catch.
And we got water temperature. What do we got, about
54 degrees.
54 degrees, which is, I mean, I'm throwing a spinnerbait, you're throwing a spinnerbait.
Mm-hmm.
It's still good spinnerbait weather, right?
Yeah, that's a good temperature for that. Anything, I think, 50 or over, I'm pretty comfortable throwing a spinnerbait, and I think you should be able to get some bites. If it gets too much below 50, might want to think about something a little slower.
Yeah, let's drop it down a little bit.
Right.
I know I was fishing on the Delaware about 2 weeks ago, and again, it was high 40s,
right.
Low 50s, and I was throwing plastic all day. Here, I know we can get away with it. Again, we're going to, well, bass and pickerel, right?
Right. We were here last week. We caught probably about 50-50, and probably the bass were about the same size as the pickerel, you know, £1.5 pound, 2 pounders. Never got that real big bite.
But you can catch a big fish in here.
Yeah, there's 5s and 6s and even some 7s in here.
And we just want to, actually we're looking for, right now we're going down this bank just to see where, if we can find an area where the fish are, right?
Yeah,
are they going
kind of searching a little bit. You know, the wind is kind of helping us drift along here. We're just going to try to move along, see if we can find a spot that's maybe holding a couple fish, and maybe we'll slow down, try to fish a little more thoroughly, see if we can maybe get a big bite.
John, we got a little break here because we're out of the wind, and you abandoned me. You went to a jerkbait. What'd you do that for?
Well, I guess we always talk about confidence baits and baits that you always feel good about. And when the water temperature's in the 50s, I always love to throw a jerkbait. And this is just a little shallow diving floater style jerkbait.
It's not actually suspending.
It's not a suspender, no, because the water here is pretty shallow. I've tried the suspending models here, but they just get a little too deep and usually get hung up on the weeds. This one will get a foot or two deep, and once the water temperature gets over 50, I can usually jerk, pause, jerk, pause, and just keep it moving. And they usually will blast it. And this water color is pretty clear here, and I think they can see it from a decent ways away. So we caught one with this last week when we fished here, and I got a good feeling that just when the time is right, they really ought to bite it.
And yeah, it's hard because we got a lot of windage.
Yeah, and that's, you know, we basically are forced to kind of tight line it, as I call it. We have to fish stuff that we keep on a tight line. because anything like a worm or a jig or something like that is going to be very, very difficult to
Right, we don't have enough area actually to pitch it in because the wind's too hard.
But you know, you just might not ever feel the bite.
Right.
By the time you feel it, the fish is gone. So this is another good reaction style bait. When the lure bang bang is right in front of them, the fish have to make a decision quick. So
Yeah.
I like it as a good reactionary bait.
You mentioned that a little while ago with this water temp and the cold front, right?
Yep.
You want a reaction strike.
Fish are a little slowed down now, and they're pretty much just hunkered down in one spot. They're not out actively feeding, and we're just hoping that we can get a lure to just quickly go by them and just get them to just react to it. And you know, you missed a strike a little while ago, and that was a fish that just probably just boiled at it, and you know, he just didn't quite get his lips on the hooks. But I figure if we cover enough ground, we get in front of enough fish, you know, we should be able to get some reaction bites.
Yeah, we hope that I mean, some of the spots that we really like the fish are just
being pummeled by the wind.
By the wind.
So,
but a spinnerbait would be a good.
Good tight line lure, a jerkbait, maybe even a little shallow crankbait might try in a little bit. Something that's going to keep a straight line so that you know when a fish hits it, you'll immediately be able to set the hook on him.
This is the hand that sows the seed, that grows the forest, that drinks from the stream, that hugs the mountain, that gives shape to the wind, that carries the kite, that is flown by the child, that is loved by the woman, that toils at the job, that gives to Earthshare, that supports the hand, that sows the seed.
All life is woven together. How can we choose which environmental cause to support? Earthshare, the workplace giving program, makes it simple by bringing the leading environmental groups together under one umbrella. Support Earthshare, and you support them all, including the hands that sow the seeds and protect the forests and the streams and the children. To learn more, please visit our website.
One day these rats were playing in the woods. One of some matches and that's no good. So if a gorgeous forest is what you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire. Yeah.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Fire.
Every week we return all our cans and bottles. Yeah, we hope to reduce the world's waste.
But aluminum? It's like gold.
Uh-huh. There's a can.
Where?
Get it.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
Properly inflating my tires burns less fuel and saves me money on gas. Yeah, I'm saving Mother Nature from pollution, but more importantly, she saved me $11. Ow!
Environmental defense. Get green.
By keeping my car regularly tuned, I save money on gas and repairs. That also means cleaner air. You know, feels good to help save the cash, planet.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
This cold front stuff really gets us, especially obviously in the springtime.
Right.
The fish want to move horizontally,
Right.
but they're moving vertically right now.
Yeah, I mean, this lake is pretty shallow as is, but right now the fish are looking to get up into the shallow water and get to the warm water, start to seek out some bed sites. The problem is the cold front really pushes them back, and they want to get down and sit in a little bit deeper water and kind of wait it out. And I'm not exactly sure what it is about it, but everybody just seems to figure that, you know, when the bad weather's coming, the fish just ease out. They want to get close to that deep water.
And they'll move on to the edge.
Right.
Onto an edge, wherever it may be.
And so what we're really trying to do here is we're trying to find where these flats just kind of drop off into the main channel. And it's pretty difficult to see, especially with the wind. We can kind of eyeball it with where the lily pads end, but we're also trying to keep an eye on the depth finder to see where the weed edge really drops off. And that's where we seem to be getting most of our bites here, are these fish that are sitting out on the edge.
Yeah, because up close to the bank, I mean, where you would want to be fishing, where we should be fishing at this time of the year, the fish really aren't there.
Yeah.
There's
just not enough access to deep water,
Yeah.
Way up far there yet. And when you get these fronts, the water temperature can even though it's already in the 50s, if the temperature moves down a few degrees, the fish really sense that and they quick back off and get off on the first drop they can find.
So that's what you want to remember when you're fishing a small lake or even a bigger lake.
Right.
I don't really care.
Especially if you were catching fish up shallow one day and come back a couple days later and the fish aren't there or they're not biting and a cold front has come through, you really need to move backwards and look for those fish a little bit deeper along the first really significant drop off that there is from the flat.
And that's when, if you don't have like a huge windstorm like we have now or bad weather, you can throw that jig or that plastic.
A worm, a tube, something, really work it nice and slow.
Right.
We don't have that luxury. We can't get out of this wind here. And so we got to really look for the reaction bite here. We can't lull them in with a slow bite.
And we're picking up grass and it's green.
Yeah, there's definitely some life in the water.
One thing I do like about this spinnerbait, it's a heavier bait. It's a 3/8 ounce Durstein bait that I'm using, and it's got triple willow leaves on it.
Yeah, something a little different.
Just a little different, but it gives me just a little bit more control when I'm bringing it over the weeds, and I'm trying to tick some of the weeds, you know what I mean? I'm trying to feel it. So a lot of times it fools you because it could be a weed or it could be a fish. So a lot of times, and we both will they'll set the hook on it, nothing, but you're ripping it through that weed.
All you're really looking for is something to just feel a little bit different. Sometimes, like I see, you feel the blade stop turning, and you'll jerk it because that's sometimes what a fish will feel like, and it's just the bait just feels a little bit differently. You feel you get more vibration from that with 3 blades as opposed to just 1 or 2?
I think it's just the 3 blades can give me just a little bit more control. I can slow the bait down just a little bit more and still keep it.
And it won't drop.
Yeah, we can still keep it up on top of these weeds because you can't let it drop or you're going to, be hung up all the time. And I don't mind touching the weeds because it's basically a weedless bait, but I just want to do it, like I say, I'm just reeling it and I'm just letting it helicopter down a little bit, slowing it down. But I think that there's 3 blades on it really have made a big difference. I got the couple of silver and a gold on there. Give a little bit of a change. John, it's tough fishing, but we're laughing about it, but it's awful tough to control the boat too.
Yeah.
With this kind of wind. But you had mentioned that the best direction.
Well, about the only direction in a wind like this is to turn the boat straight into it and really hope that your trolling motor batteries are very well charged. Keep the boat pointed right into it. We tried to let the wind drift us down this edge, the first time through, and I mean we covered probably 500 yards in about 9 seconds.
Right.
But to really slow down and fish these things, these edges the way we want to, the only way to do it was to just turn the boat into the wind. So, and it can be a little tough working it, the foot control, and it just practice makes perfect. I'm sure you remember the first time you had to learn how to work that foot control trolling motor.
Oh, it's a difficult thing just in regular weather to use it. Well, here you're getting wind blowing from each direction, and you want to try to keep an even pace.
Right.
And boy, it's just hard. So to get it into the wind, at least you got some control. Going with the wind, you're just getting knocked all over.
And I tell you, like we're human, we want to get out of the wind sometimes just because we get cold, but the wind does certain things to the fish. And it positions fish a certain way. These fish are probably, pointing up into the wind because it's creating a current, and the water's actually coming down. And so, the wind can be a help to you, and if you use it the right way.
Yeah, it's not a fun thing.
No one really likes it, and it's probably tops on most bass fishermen's list of things that they hate or things that they have difficulty fishing in. Because if you come out here without a trolling motor, if you were in a canoe or a rowboat or something, you'd have probably gone home already. you know, we're doing pretty good holding still with a pretty good trolling motor, but you know, otherwise, basically, about your only option would be to anchor and just fish an area and then move and then anchor up again.
All right, John, I gotta step down in here. You blocked the wind for a while.
Yeah, I'll take care of it for you. I'll front you.
The fronts that come through again are just amazing. You got to stick with it. The fish are still going to be here. They're going to hit.
You got to be persistent.
You got to be persistent. You're right, John. And again, you just got to keep chucking and winding, chucking and winding. I stepped down here because it's a little windy, and to get in there, you can make a better cast this way too. There you go. Whoa. Okay.
How big? Good one?
Nice, nice.
All right. There you go.
Shoo! Got him.
Got him?
Yeah.
Nice fish, Bob. Good fish. On that Durstein triple blade.
Whew. Well, that thing has been beat up.
That's a nice fish. That is a good one.
Nice one, too. Well, you know, you're coming off of those pads again, John. Just coming off
right
those
up
pads.
on the edge.
Yep. Nice fish.
It's just starting to get turned on now, hopefully.
Yeah.
Bang a few more.
Yeah, they're starting to move up. Again, this fish is nice and warm.
Ooh, very warm.
Springtime fishing. You got to stick with it, right, John? Even though you're blowing a 40-mile-an-hour wind. Good Lord. All right, thank you. Woo, I love some sugar.
Bob, it's been a while since we kind of came up on this edge here. Trying to stay out of the wind, but wanted to turn back into it. This is where we've been catching some fish. So, again, just want to try to keep right out on the edge of those pads. There it is.
All right. Good, good.
It's a good one.
All right. Out here.
Help me out?
Oh, yeah, bring him over here. Come here, sweetheart. Woo!
Oh, all right. Get the trolling motor, man. We're all out of spot.
Nice. Like Towhee fish, John. That was a hard fish to catch. How'd you get that one?
Changed colors of that Fire Tiger spinnerbait. So got a few stuck in them here.
Yeah.
Fighting the wind, but right on the edge of the pads, like we've been trying to catch them.
I know it.
2.5, you figure?
Oh yeah. Nice fish.
Nice fat fish.
Tell you what, this fish is a lot warmer than me.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I'll warm my hands up, man.
Yeah. Woo. All right, boy. You go back in there. We'll be right back with more fishing from Lake Towhee after this.
Last month, I adjusted my thermostat a few degrees a day to lower my energy bill. Experts say that helps reduce air pollution. I say, cha-ching. Morning, Carl.
Morning. Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
Properly inflating my tires burns less fuel and saves me money on gas. Yeah, I'm saving Mother Nature from pollution, but more importantly, she saved me 11 bucks. Ow!
Environmental defense. Get green.
By keeping my car regularly tuned, I save money on gas and repairs. That also means cleaner air. You know, feels good to help save the cash, planet.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
One day these rats were playing in the woods. Wanted some matches and that's no good. Sort of gorgeous force is what you decide. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Yeah.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Fire.
This is the hand that sows the seed, that grows the forest, that drinks from the stream, that hugs the mountain, that gives shape to the wind, that carries the kite, that is flown by the child, that is loved by the woman, that toils at the job, that gives to Earthshare, that supports the hand, that sows the seed.
All life is woven together. How can we choose which environmental cause to support? Earthshare, the workplace giving program, makes it simple by bringing the leading environmental groups together under one umbrella. Support Earthshare, and you support them all, including the hands that sow the seeds and protect the forests and the streams and the children. To learn more, please visit our website.
We have reeds, pads, but we also have a beaver dam.
Yeah, kind of a unique piece of structure you don't see everywhere. There's a series of beaver lodges in here, and through all the various work they do, there's all these sticks that they have in the water, and whatever kind of entranceway they have here, or whether this is their smorgasbord that they lay out, it's pretty common this time of year to find a couple of fish sitting in or near or amongst these sticks here. I've caught several fish off of this beaver dam different times.
Yeah, it adds just a little bit to it.
Yeah, just something different, just a way for bass to just be hidden, be a little, and just wait for a little mini to come along here.
Or my spinnerbait.
Or my spinnerbug. It's funny about when we were here last week, we fished this spot probably 3 or 4 different times.
Right.
And it was the very last time we were here that we finally caught a fish off of it. So
right.
even if you find a real nice
at each angle too.
Yeah, right. If you find a real nice piece of structure, it really pays to continue to come back, keep checking it, keep trying it, different baits, different angles, and until finally something's going to pay off.
Yeah, the fish are going to hold on it.
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing. I think people are confident that the fish are there, but they'll just make a couple of casts, they're not going to bite, and then they're done and they're out of there. But I think a real determined fisherman is really going to stick with it, look to explore the cover any possible way he can.
Each angle too. I think
right.
That's
throw different baits, and don't just make 1 or 2 casts and figure the bass is going to run out of there and grab it. Sometimes it takes that absolute perfect cast and the perfect angle and drop that bait right in the right spot, get a fish to bite.
We're doing a tackle box section here.
Right.
We're limited to our tackle box section today. There's lots of other baits we could have talked about, but the weather conditions just are brutal out there.
Yeah.
It's blowing like anything out there. But you started out with a jerkbait.
Yeah. This is a Bagley Bangalore. This is a wooden bait. Very buoyant, very shallow, probably at most get only a couple feet deep. And just try to jerk pause, again, looking for that reaction bite. And, we caught a couple on it last week, didn't get any on it today, but it's usually a good one.
But it's a good bait, and it runs shallow because we have a lot of weeds out there, but you're just ticking the weeds with the bait. And do you like this color?
Yeah, the baby bass in real clear water, I've always liked that. When the water gets a little dingier, I might change to like a fire tiger, maybe a clown color, just something with a little more flash to it.
Okay, now you threw this a little bit today, not much, but the weather conditions really killed us, and that's just a jig, right?
Right, a little jig with a little plastic trailer, light, only like about 3/16 of an ounce or something like that. Doesn't sink too fast. You can almost like swim it, and I really like that melon seed color. Again, with the wind blowing, it was really tough to feel it, and we had to abandon it pretty quick.
But if we didn't have the wind conditions, and we had what, 54, 55 degree water temp, pitching us around the...
Yeah, I like to throw the jig in 50-degree water. When it starts getting up into the 60s, then I'll switch over to a worm. But for this temperature water, I think the jig will work for you, if you can work it.
Okay, now we went toe-to-toe with our spinnerbaits.
Yeah.
I love throwing spinnerbaits. You know that. I mean, we go every time we go out, we laugh about that. I've been using this Durstein bait here, and it's a triple willow leaf blade, and I really like this. I'm really getting more confidence in it.
I noticed that you didn't offer one to me the whole trip.
No, I would not absolutely do that.
All right.
Because I still want to catch more fish. I like the triple willow leaf. It kind of makes like a little bit of more of a minnow flash through it, but yet I can control it a little bit better with the 3 blades. I could pitch it out there and then reel it back and keep it above the weeds, but yet still control it, especially with the wind out there today.
Yeah.
I really had a hard time feeling, but I could do it. And I like the combination of this copper or gold and then the 2 silver. Really, I like the bait a lot more than I really thought I was going to like it, but it really gave me a lot of control. A little bit of chartreuse again for the little bit of murky water, and this iridescent skirt really comes through the
real
water.
Popular skirts.
Real nice.
I think a lot of guys like the willow leaf when there's a lot of weeds, because a little bit of a tighter spin to the blade, and it'll come through the weeds a little bit better.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
And what we're doing, especially today, was that you're dropping it and you're letting it actually helicopter down, and that really was nice. Then you dug down deep, buddy, and you went for your favorite bait. Am I right?
Yeah, this is probably about my favorite spinnerbait. This is a man's classic spinnerbait, and it's one that I have a lot of confidence in. And I didn't pull the fire tiger out until later on in the day when the water really started getting like murky. All the wind and the waves was really churning it up, and I thought maybe giving them a little brighter color, and it probably wasn't 10 minutes after I tied it on, boom, and I got bit with it.
And you like the skirt, right?
Yeah, I like the skirt, and the little twin trailer adds just a little bit more action. I kept it light though. I kept mine down to a 1/4 ounce.
And that still is real hard to control it.
Yeah, just, got to be real aware, not let it get bogged down too much in the
Now,
weeds.
would you fish this throughout the spring, or?
I'll start throwing that once the water temperature gets about 50 degrees.
That kind of gives like a little bluegilly kind of.
Yeah, I think, or maybe yellow perch kind of a feel to it. But it's just a color I've just come to have a lot of confidence in.
And that's one thing you do. If you got confidence in the bait, you're going to keep throwing it.
Yep.
Well, John, that's the tackle box, and I can hope my hands warm up a little bit. But that's springtime fishing. Really, confidence in your baits.
Yeah.
Take a few baits. You don't have to use 20 different baits.
Right.
Get confidence in the bait. Spinnerbait is probably one of the best choices with even the ripples we had on the water today, and a jerkbait like that. Not a suspending one, because we couldn't really suspend it.
It was too shallow for the suspended bait. Needed a floater.
And that's your springtime thing, and that's the tackle box.
Bob, I wasn't getting too many strikes on that other spinnerbait, and I noticed the watercolor is a little bit murkier. I think the wind kind of
chopped it over a bit,
turning it up a little bit, and I think you're throwing white, and I was throwing something mostly white, so I decided to pick up a different spinnerbait, one that's like a fire tiger, a little bit orange, some green to it. So let's see if we can have some more luck with this.
Yeah, a lot of times, you mentioned it before, a lot of times that you're fishing a bait for a certain period of time, and if you're not getting the hits, you want to switch to it. Switch to another bait.
I think that's one thing that a lot of people just aren't sure. How long do you stick with the bait? How long do you fish with it? Before you should make a change. And I'm always one that if we haven't had a strike in a while, it's time to do something different, because I'm very confident that we're in an area where some fish are. There he is. There he is.
All right, good. There you go. Cool. Want a spinner bug?
Spinner bug. Change colors. Well, that's a half decent bass.
There you go. All right.
All right.
That fish is a lot warmer than the air, I can tell you that much, John.
Not ready to jump in and get warm. It's cold.
Anyway, John Hawthorne, thanks a lot, pal.
My pleasure, Bob. My pleasure.
Springtime, cold fronts, blowing, spinner bugs, they do the trick. I'm Bob Murray, Delaware Valley Outdoors. Hey, don't forget to go to our website, email us, windcast, all kinds of stuff. Even check a reporter on Lake Towhee. I'll see you on the water. All right, Johnny boy. Right off of that riprap, eh?